No one likes clogged alcantara or unprotected leather, especially in a nice car that warrants regular attention. So let's revisit the Lotus Emira that I winter washed back in January, this time to tackle its compact cabin. So although tackling the interior of this modern Emira with a few familiar products was a fairly straightforward affair, getting to it wasn't, as the man in the artificial moon had obviously got wind of me heading out fully laden and decided to gridlock the roads for long enough to push the temperature of a 30-year-old black-bonneted Italian stallion well into brown trouser territory. But such are the joys of Monday mornings. At least at the end of my tedious journey there was a snazzy car waiting for me and not a snotty boss. While at a glance this Lotus interior didn't look too bad, on closer inspection there was a fair few unsightly looking marks on the light coloured leather, and I'd noticed when trying the cabin out for size back in January that the alcantara-clad steering wheel didn't feel as soft as it should, so surmised at 3.5 years old it'd probably never been treated to a dedicated deep clean, which in my mind for a car of this calibre is unacceptable. So despite my late arrival, was still up for showing these areas some love, and if I had the time, treating the rest of the cabin to at least a once over. And you're going to want to ensure your screen is clean for this one so you don't mistake your own splatter on it for spots of dirt I might have missed in the moment. Before any deep cleaning of ingrained dirt could be carried out, what little loose stuff there was knocking about had to be removed to prevent it from being subsequently ground into the soft surfaces. So set about both the ice grey leather, which in reality is more of a whitey cream colour, and around the alcantara steering wheel with the brush tool equipped vacuum cleaner, which being a pretty self-explanatory affair that only represented a small part of the job, only felt warranted a couple of clips for illustration's sake. But it's definitely worth doing even if the surfaces look pretty clean to begin with, for the same reason you'd at least pre-rinse the exterior of a car prior to making any sudsy contact with it. So the main plan of action was to tackle the wheel from the comfort of the seats first, only moving on to those from the side of the car once that was out the way. So after covering the gauge, cluster and controls with a big towel to protect them from overspray and splatter, went ahead and sprayed a generous amount of Gtechniq's versatile Tri-Clean product over it that I'd intentionally brought along knowing it could be used on pretty much all parts of the interior, before then going on to thoroughly work it in with a fairly forgiving leather brush to try and get the best out of it. Now, I've got the impression over the years that people mistakenly think this man-made synthetic material is super delicate and so shouldn't really be heavily cleaned. But it's used by manufacturers, in part at least, because it's actually pretty resilient. So I'd say don't be afraid of getting stuck into neglected alcantara, as noticeable improvements in both look and feel can be made with a thorough scrub, towel, vacuum, and in this case subsequent steam, which isn't really essential, but as I had the machine to hand for use on the seats, thought it made sense to treat the wheel to a bit of an evaporative blast too. Outside of a final brush vac, that was pretty much it for the soft wheels, so I moved on to the soft seats for a similar deep cleaning session, starting with the liberal application of the multi-purpose cleaner, which, while not being a dedicated leather cleaner, will do just as good a job in my experience, especially when thoroughly worked in with a suitable soft brush and turbocharged with steam as it was here prior to being toweled off. And while I wouldn't recommend carrying out this level of clean on a regular basis, as a one-off or infrequent undertaking done prior to the application of a long-term protectant can help make all the difference, as a gentle wipe down, especially on leather that likely hasn't been deep cleaned before, often won't cut it. So with this representing the bulk of the clean, spent the best part of an hour decontaminating the light coloured leather, which also included the panels around the centre console, in the dash and on the doors, as I couldn't have freshly rejuvenated surfaces butting up with comparatively glossy ones. And because I much preferred dealing with light coloured leather over dark, the process remained a fairly satisfying affair overall, despite the inevitable contortionism required for a 6+ footer to manoeuvre themselves around such a compact cabin. Once clean, and more importantly thoroughly dry, it was then time to lock in that fresh dirt-free finish with some of Gtechniq's leather guard, which, despite being a fairly durable product, is one that's an absolute breeze to use. And I chose the microfiber side of a multi-purpose applicator pad to get it sufficiently spread over the surface here, although Gtechniq do recommend one of their own foam jobbies. But whatever you choose, once you've applied it to a section, which I recommend doing in a manner that kind of mimics the contours of the seat, it's then just a case of wiping things over with a fresh general purpose towel to remove any excess, which in my experience there's rarely any of, to leave a finish that might not look, smell or feel any different, but will now be sporting a protective barrier that should help resist wear, tear and unsightly dye transfer from anywhere from 3 to 12 months depending on how heavily the interior is used afterwards. Now, unlike the cleaning that went before, there's no heavy elbow grease needed at this point. Straightforward fingertip pressure will suffice. and while you can layer the product to increase things like abrasion resistance, that calls for at least an hour in between coats, which if I was to give everything else a once over and get home in time for tea, unfortunately couldn't stretch to here. But I did leave some extra product with the owner so they can layer or top things up as they see fit. And being antibacterial, even if things aren't treated to a dedicated clean prior to a reapplication, 99% of any unseen backside nasties will be eliminated with the simple swipe of an applicator pad. The rest of the interior was then seen to mostly off camera to ensure the surrounding surfaces were brought up to an acceptable level of scratch, which pretty much translated to a thorough crevice and soft brush tool vacuum, a Tri-Clean prime towel wipe down and an interior glass clean, which took a tad longer than I'd expected as there was a few carpeted panels of questionable quality that resisted being efficiently dealt with. And that, plus the fact that I'd arrived later than I'd planned, meant that outside of a half-hour aftershot session, I had to call it a day for the cleaning there. So, despite what the disaster detail-oriented algorithm would have you believe, car detailing for the most part isn't about transforming neglected old beaters that outside of a YouTube video would never normally be touched, but rather about keeping the well-thought-out surfaces of enthusiast-owned cars like this sufficiently clean. Although the Emira's inner sanctum was hardly indecent to start with, still looked far more respectable after having had the best part of a day spent on it, so would definitely recommend deep cleaning and then keeping on top of your light coloured leather and or alcantara, much like how I did for both my CRZ and Nismo, which sported a fair bit of each respectively. But for this car, which irrespectively sported both, its owner now wouldn't, for the next 6 months or so at least, have to worry about his keks discolouring the seats, plus would hopefully feel a bit more connected with it now that the previous owner's hand sweat had been thoroughly removed.